Hello and good afternoon from snowy Marquette, Michigan. My name's Austin Lyons. I'm currently an undergraduate student at Northern Michigan University and I double major in English and biology. I'm taking a class in Intro to Principles of Ecology with Dr. Lafferty here, and this leads me into my research project for this semester. So the idea for my project began when I was reading a article about the distribution of the nine-banded armadillo. The nine-banded armadillo historically has been limited to the southern parts of the US, while as of recently they've been documenting the species moving more northern, and they believe that's due to climate change. So, jumping off of that, I decided to compare the relative abundances between the northern raccoon, the coyote, and the nine-banded armadillo. And I kept my research area limited to the southeastern United States. So I questioned whether the armadillo may be affected by the changing temperatures due to climate change, and whether this may be disrupting their abundances in this deep southeastern area that I was studying. So I chose the northern raccoon and the coyote as my two comparison species since they have relatively high abundances across the US and they're widely distributed across the country as well, pretty much the entirety of the country. I used a subset of Snapshot USA data to collect my data, and I used this to compare the relative abundances for my three species across several years. For my data analysis, I calculated the number of detections per 100 trap nights for each of my species at Snapshot USA sites in the deep southeastern United States, and that collected data for the Snapshot project. I then used a t-test to determine whether my target taxa experienced changes in relative abundance between years due to changing climate. I found that the relative abundance of all three of my species did not differ, meaning that my hypothesis was not supported. However, this really intrigues me because it may suggest that the nine-banded armadillo is adapting to the changing in temperatures, since there seems to be no or little effect on their relative abundance. I do wonder if this may be because of their varying omnivorous diet, which all three of my target taxa display, so this may be part of the reason why they're able to adapt to a changing environment, since food doesn't seem to be a limiting factor. Of course, this study is only a jumping off point, and I believe more research would have to be done to see exactly how or if the nine-banded armadillo is showing an adaptation of some sort to the changing temperatures due to climate change. I think it would be really interesting to research this further. So thank you to Snapshot USA for access to this data set. My TA, Livia Coletta, you've truly helped me a lot. I can't even begin to say how much you've helped me, especially my lab partners as well, and of course Dr. Lafferty and all of the NMU biology department. Thank you so much.